Hello folks, and welcome back to StarCraft 2, the visual novel. I'm really digging this game, by the way. I know I've said that like a ton last episode, but holy fuck, I really do dig this game. I squeezed my way through the growing crowd and managed to make it through the doorway leading outside. When I hit the street, I met with a cool breeze and a rush of voices, sound, and light. This is it. A shot. One final shot to make it happen. One last chance to live the life I want. I quickened my pace, eager for the comfort of a dark room and a bright monitor. This is the day that everything changes. Hopefully I can bring my A game when it comes to reading this time. Well, that was just a prologue, I guess. Alright. Time to bring some grade A reading and voice acting. True to her word, Jet sent me a reminder to get over to Golden Zone Fire for some morning practice. I enjoy playing online and all, but matching against someone only a few feet away is way more productive. Talking over games in person makes it easier to get feedback and improve, and that's what I need more than anything else. The sting from my failure at the VSL qualifier will take some time to fade. I don't want to experience that pain ever again. I catch sight of Jet in the middle row, our attention locked on a ladder game. Without disturbing her, I take a seat at her side and watch the match unfold. Furious taps and clicks rattle her keyboard. Her focus never drops from the game, much less her monitor. She's ahead, though not by much. Okay, I said I tried to bring my A game, and I'm not succeeding right now, but maybe I just need a little warm-up, just like these two. It's not long until she extends her lead into the late game, and a few minutes later heaves a sigh of relief when her opponent rage quits out. There's no need for me to consult my Korean skills to understand his final message. Zerg Imba. You actually showed up. Color me surprised. How could I not? The better question is, how you have freed the time. Wait, what? Okay, I completely read that wrong. Maybe I shouldn't do this as soon as I get home from school. The better question is, how you have the free time to practice with some amateur. I'm the charitable sort, obviously. Anyway, you're here, so let's stop wasting time. You've paid for your PC, yeah? I nod and log myself in at the station next to hers. A few minutes later, the two of us are grinding out our practice matches. Game after game is a beatdown. I can't crack her defenses when I attack, and I'm barely holding on when she goes on offensive. She's just as unforgiving in pointing out my mistakes as she is in-game. Your wall at the ramp to your natural is trash. How the hell do you get away with this? You're asking to get busted. It's not something I really think about that much. I just throw it up, you know? Fix it or be punished. That probably isn't an idle threat. Jet is the type of player capable of ending the game instantly if she can capitalize on the right kind of mistake. Yeah, so I'm assuming that this is what she means right here, this spot. Oh wait, my mouse doesn't show up in the videos, never mind. Her style has been characterized as both passive and reactive. She takes her time and watches her opponents, patient for the right moment to strike. She only takes a risk if it's calculated in her favor. See, I'm the type of player that rushes in with a wild strategy and just eager to go through with it. A lot of the time, it kind of backfires. But when it succeeds, oh boy, does it succeed. I'm talking about CSGO, not StarCraft, because I can't play StarCraft. Given her former success, the style has suited her well. So I can't help but wonder why she hasn't lately been performing at her previous level. Maybe she's lost her killer instinct. Guess not. A reminder of the skill difference between us rushes up the ramp to my natural expansion and crushes my wall as promised. In the aftermath of the destruction, she swarms my base and seizes an easy win. Jet revels in her victory with a predatory smile. Wrecked. Before we get into the next game, I catch sight of a familiar face coming into the cafe. Huh. Isn't that the same guy from last night? Hey, Jet, do you know who that is? I thumb in the stranger's direction as he passes by us, his attention occupied by a cell phone screen. Jet trails a look after him, wrinkles her nose, and shrugs. He's a KPGA player. Protoss. What about him? Come on, get into the game already. Seriously? He was at All Out Attack yesterday. What's he doing outside his team house 2 days in a row? They're only figuratively chained to their desks. Not all of them are shut-ins. Stop wasting time, let's go. I double take away from Jet to find the player in question seated a few rows in front of us. And he's got the StarCraft 2 client open. Why would a KPGA player spend his practice time on anything but Brood War? Should I ask him for a game? I think I'm gonna ask him for a game. What? No, hold on. Wait, you can't just... But before she can stop me, I rise and shuffle my way past the row of computers. Jet shoots me a withering glare over the top of her station before ducking back down. Even though I've barely interacted with the guy, I can't help but feel a little anxious as I edge closer to his PC. Sure, he was a bit rude when we spoke, but the chance to challenge a KPGA pro is too good to pass up, especially if I'm trying to step up my game. He's about to jump into a match when I clear my throat right behind him. He subtly tabs and then turns to regard me through half-lidded eyes. What? Excuse me, would you mind a practice game? No. I'm just here to... He pauses. Recognition flits across his face. You're the chick from All Out Attack yesterday, aren't you? For a moment, he looks ready to dismiss me and get to laddering. At the last second, he nods. Alright, one game. With a final nod, I return to my station. A moment later, he and I share a game lobby and are just about ready to begin. He's playing on a barcode account. Typical. How have I still not managed to catch this guy's name? A sharp tap against my headphones announces Jet's return and displeasure. You're obnoxious. If you lose and embarrass me by association, I'm going to pretend I don't know you. Anything else Jet has to say is drowned out along with the sounds of Golden Zone fire when I pull the earpads back on. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Unknown, question mark. He plays Protoss? Question mark, question mark, question mark. If the idea behind practicing against the good players to improve, I should probably play Standard. Still, the temptation to all-in is always there. How sick would it be to grab a quick win on a KPGA player? Let's see. Here's the thing. here's the thing. If it was me playing, I'd go for an early attack. But, as she says, she's here to improve. So maybe we should just play out a standard game. He's a KPGA, so he's not exactly a noob at this game. I'm pretty sure he understands the basics. And since he was secretly... It seems like he was secretly practicing, so... I'm gonna assume that maybe he's preparing to enter the next tournament. So, we should play standard. But then again, that's probably what he's expecting. We don't know the guy's mindset, so... or how good he is. So let's just play it safe. It's probably best that I follow Jet's advice. I opt for a standard macro management game. This guy's build permitting. Oh, yeah, words. I take my natural expansion and begin to tech up. Teching up is when you improve the stats of each unit by, you know, like upgraded gear, essentially. The match progresses quietly, with only a few brief skirmishes with his stalkers and my marines. My scan shows that he's not doing anything out of the ordinary. One of us has to make a move, sooner or later. I start constructing my starport and researching my bio upgrades. I'm surprised to find that they finish without any pressure coming from the Protoss army. This could be a good time to go for some drop play and try to snipe some of his critical tech buildings. If I were to play an aggressive drop style, I need to be confident in my control and in the fact that I can outplay him. On the other hand, this game has been exceptionally quiet. If I could get up another expansion, I'll have a serious economical advantage going into the late game. No, I don't want to risk an early third base. Economy is very important in games like this, but I think it's time to finally attack. I don't know Protoss's advantages compared to Terran, so let's get aggressive. Dropship play is a defining characteristic of a top Terran player. If I win with this, it's a good indication that I can stand toe-to-toe with the best players in Korea. It's time to put my practice to work, and gather enough units for an attack at my starport as the first dropship finishes. It's imperative he doesn't see me move out, so I make sure the watchtowers are clear, and avoid places where Protoss players commonly leave their observers. When my dropships are in the clear, I fly straight into his base. He's unprepared for the attack, and I unload all my units. Units rush to snipe some important tech buildings. With the damage to his infrastructure done, my units retreat for the safety of my dropships. That set him back a ton. The game is going incredibly well, so I decide to pull back on my aggression and build up an army for one final push. He's been too busy defending to get a decent standing army, and when I roll in with my massed units, he kites back, bobbing and weaving away from my forces while delivering potshots. I give chase, the taste of victory tantalizingly close. I manage to corner his army, leaving him with nowhere to run. But just as I move in to deliver the final blow, he flanks me with a half a dozen Templar, showering my army in high damage storms. I pull back frantically, but my army is left in tatters. I try my hardest to gather enough units to mount a second offensive, but he continues to crush my attacks with only a handful of well-upgraded and well-microed zealots, stalkers, and archons. How the hell did that happen? My lead is gone. Frustrated, I box all my workers and charge towards his base for a final attack. With the SCVs on the front lines, I should have enough power to take a direct engagement. I roll through his fourth base uncontested. Yes, He's giving up ground because he knows he can't face me. Emboldened, I drive up the ramp leading to his natural to end the game, and find myself face to face with an ambush. My front line evaporates before I can issue the command to retreat, and he crushes what remains of my army a few moments later. I can't believe it. I lost. I stare blankly at the screen for almost 10 seconds before I finally type GG and quit out of the match. I don't have long to sulk in my defeat before the KPGA player makes his way over to me with a smirk. As promised, Jet is nowhere to be seen. Well then, I don't know if I should have gone the other option or not. Oh well. Hey, you actually know how to play. Wasn't expecting that I'd have to try. It was a compliment, regardless of how he said it. Though it's difficult to be graceful in defeat. I try my best anyway. I played my game the best I could. Kept vision on you, dropped when I could. But it wasn't enough. Sucks. It's one thing to lose carelessly, but it's another when everything goes as planned and you fail anyway. His grin darkens to one without humor. Is this guy serious? What the hell is your problem? You demand a game and whine when you get a little pushback? Look who's talking. Everyone knows your type. The foreigner out to make a name for herself. You fly out here on a whim and waste 6 weeks training. You aren't the first and unfortunately won't be the last. Your plane ticket doesn't buy you the right to call yourself a pro gamer. Save your money and your time and go back home. I feel the heat rise in my face. Half in anger and half in embarrassment. I've never dealt well with confrontation. But before I can say anything else, Jet steps out from around a corner and cuts between the two of us. Still great at making friends, huh, Balt? He glances between the two of us, surprised. After a moment's pause, the so-called Balt seizes back his smirk and meets Jet with a step forward. Been a while, hasn't it? What's a supposed Star League champion doing with trash like this? Balt looks past her and tilts his head towards me. I take a step towards him, but an open palm from Jet stops me from going any further. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. Jumping ship to a scene bloated with foreign money has its upsides. But it won't be long before you forget the dignity of a pro gamer. The dignity of a pro gamer, huh? You make it sound so distinguished. You've changed for the worse and you don't even realize it. How sad. Shouldn't be much longer until the KPGA finally accepts that there's no future in Brood War. You're smart enough to know what happens then. But hey, the scene could always use more casters. Whatever you say. For the record, what excuse did you give your coach for another day off? VIP is a little more lax than Shock T1, but I might want to borrow it someday. At that, Bolt scowls. Jet doesn't waste the opening and strikes again. Don't worry, Korean name, goddammit I can't read that. Dongseng? Donseng? Yeah, I think that's how it's pronounced. I hope. I'll look it up. Donseng, your secret's safe with me. Run along now. I'm sure you've got coins to flip or something. The standoff lasts a moment longer before Balt lets out a lazy shrug, instantly killing off the intensity in his expression. You got better things to do than offer advice to a mouthy chocobo. Do what you want. Oh, that's not chocobo, that's chobo. I'm sorry. I have Final Fantasy on the mind, I guess. He thumbs his nose at me and returns to his station without another word. As soon as Balt's out of sight, Jet takes my arm in a vice and practically drags me away. You had the game won! What the hell was that? An SCV pool at 15 minutes? Is this what they teach you at the NA servers? Even after a heated confrontation, their concern is with the match before anything else. I almost laugh. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick pause right here because I just want to say, I like this chick. I thought it was like kind of not, you know, I didn't like her, but I totally like she's soon-to as fuck. And I need to see this real quick. Brood War, the expansion pack to the original StarCraft released in 1998. The esports industry in South Korea was built entirely around Brood War, and its wild success with both players and spectators. It remains relatively popular and a cultural mainstay. Okay, because I know Brood Wars was an expansion, but I didn't understand which expansion it was to. My drops crippled him. I thought it would be enough to end the game. So build units for 2 minutes, then we'll go roll him. Don't be so damn impatient. Your upgrades were too late too. Her pointed critique diffuses the tension from moments prior, even if it doesn't exactly make me feel any better. When she's done going through my long list of mistakes, Jet flicks her hand back towards the PCs. Come on, queue up on a blah, blah. I cannot read that for some reason now. Queue up a game against me. Bring it. I told Jet that I wasn't feeling up to practice after we played a few more one-sided games. She seemed annoyed, but agreed with my suggestions to take a short break. I think Jet probably likes Mach. Back in high school, I used to spend most of my time at the library when class was over. To be honest, this is probably the most time I've willingly spent outside of my room since then. I'm not the type to read for fun or study diligently, but it was nice to have a place to go and be on my own. I miss those afternoons since I graduated. But Golden Zone Fire is a good replacement hangout as I could hope for. Is as good as a replacement, yeah, words. It's clean and comfortable, and has pretty much everything that I need to stay 24/7. Yeah, by the way, these PC cafes can range from like smoke and cigar filled to like luxurious 5-star hotel level. I've been to both, and holy shit. That is an exaggeration. Some of the patrons here look practically glued to their chairs. With a milk tea from one of the vending machines in hand, I return to my seat across from Jet. She isn't wearing the same scowl from earlier, but I can tell she'd rather be practicing. What are you drinking? She snatches up the can across from her and takes a long sip. Coffee? What kind of coffee? Coffee is coffee. I don't drink sugary junk. And for the record, it's obnoxious to challenge someone that you don't know to a match. Is it really a big deal? All I wanted was a practice game. Do you know those types that stream snipe and start shit on message boards so that people pay attention to them? Oh yeah. All too well, unfortunately. Not you. Except you did it in real life. Walt's a real tool though, isn't he? What a prick. Jet cuts herself off with a hiss and grits her teeth. How do you know him? How do you know him? His name is Bolt? Yeah, he plays for Shock T1. Shock, huh? Bolt must be a new recruit. I haven't paid much attention to them or any other Brood War team since StarCraft 2 came out, but he definitely wasn't on their roster a year ago. Right, but how do you know him? Jet clicks her tongue and breaks her gaze away from me. I silently appreciate the reprieve from her death glare. If you must know, he and I went to the same middle school. I was in a class above him. Oh. Okay. I was thinking he might have knocked you out of a tournament or something. No, I've never played him in a Star League. You don't need to overanalyze everything. Silence falls between us while Jet nurses what remains of her drink. I can't tell if she's really into the coffee, or if she's just trying to find something to occupy her lips other than our conversation. I doubt Jet spends much time at PC Bangs, given that she's got a team house to practice from. I should consider myself lucky that she'd make time to come out here and all. You know, it makes zero sense for you to focus on qualifying for VSL, right? I blinked myself from a thought to meet Jet's intense stare. What do you mean? What's the point of us meeting up to practice then? No, I'm not listen. I want to round up some players. For what? For VSTL. Team League? But you're already on a team. Yeah. Yeah? She wavers, considering whether or not to tell me what I've already figured out. You're leaving VIP? Jet's eyes jumped to mine, brows raised in surprise, and then furrowed in annoyance. She's been on VIP for almost a year, and is by far the team's best player. Management barely pays us and nobody is motivated. They're worse than bad. They're complacent. I want a fresh start. I'm not guilting you. It just isn't something I expect to hear. Do you have a team house picked out then? No, not yet. What about a coach? No. Well, do you have players in mind? Look, it's a work in progress, okay? I edged away from her glare and raised my hands defensively. Alright, sorry. It's not my business. For a while, silence. Jet does her best to avoid eye contact. I can tell she's thinking hard about something. Just as I'm about to rise to replace my milk tea with another, she speaks. You know about all those new foreign teams popping up recently, right? Yeah. What about them? Isn't it strange? They're worse than almost every Korean squad, yet most of them have more sponsors. Well, there are a lot of esports fans outside of Korea these days. People want to support their hometown heroes. I don't think it's that simple. Where would the money come from if not the fans? Idiots. What? Idiots. Idiots that call themselves investors. Idiots that throw away money keeping mediocre players afloat because it makes them feel good inside for whatever reason. Well, she and Bolt agree on one thing at least. Okay. Gonna find some idiots to sponsor you? No. Well, she takes a long moment to reconsider her answer. No, it wouldn't work out in the end. What I'm getting at is that too much of our scene ignores the foreign fan base. It's a huge mistake. Well, there's the time zone difference and the language barrier. Also, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of foreign fans don't find Korean players entertaining. What? How dare you? That's ridiculous! I'm just relaying common knowledge. Don't hold me accountable for the opinions of Silver Leaguers. Most Western fan support goes to the people who entertain well. Streamers, casters, those kinds of people. The most famous players in your scene aren't the best? That's appalling. Hey, Brood War got popular on the backs of boys that looked good on camera. That's practically the same thing. If the PC Bang was the ship, then the fangirls pulled the oars. Not the same thing. They were pretty and skilled, not one or the other. And show some goddamn respect. Those boys are the only reason that you and I are able to have this conversation. The sharp response and equally sharp glare suggests that I shouldn't argue the point. Jet knows better than I do anyway. We're getting off topic. There are tons of potential fans that most Korean teams ignore simply because they're too hard to connect with. Yeah, I agree. See, it's gonna end up that I'm on her team, and then I guess we're gonna have to try to get other people on the team. She lifts an eyebrow and stares at me for just a bit too long. A bit too long before glancing away. If I wasn't sure before, I am now. Go on. Go on and what? I know what you're thinking. No, you don't. Yes, I do. What am I thinking then? You want me to join a new team you're starting so that I can help you with a foreign fan base. Also, you're inviting me here to try out under the guise of practice. Jet slumps back into her seat, defeated. I fight a losing battle against the urge to laugh. Don't look so smug. I hate dealing with team management. You could hire a manager. Before we have any players? Maybe I should just keep my head down and practice. No, don't do that. It's a good idea. You're only saying that because I gave you an offer. Partially, but if you go through with this, I'll do whatever I can to help. How are you the one convincing me to go after my own idea? Damn it. God, she's so tsundere, I love it. She chews on her lip, likely considering the harrowing risk of leaving her team. I can't make any commitments until we at least have some other players. It'd be stupid for me to move out of the VIP house without everything lined up. This is something I've been thinking about for a while, even if I don't have every detail hashed out yet. I want to keep overhead low and practice time high, lean and mean. She aims a finger at me, her dull nail of hair's breadth up before my nose. If you're going to be a part of this, you're going to pull your weight. You can start by searching for our players, unless you'd rather find me a coach and sponsor. I cringe backwards and raise my hands. No, I'll leave that to you. Good. It'll work out better this way. The minimum number of players for Team League is 4, so you need to find at least 2. No, this isn't exactly how I envisioned that I'd join a StarCraft team. Walk away if you like. You have a long way to go if you want to be anything other than our translator mascot anyway. I'll admit though, Estelle was right. I see glimpses of high-level stuff in your play. But as of right now, you kinda suck, even by foreigner standards. No offense intended. Wait, offense attended? Oh, thanks, Jet. You seriously need to start busting your ass. Coming to Korea is pointless if you're still practicing Western hours. Well, nobody ever claimed that Jet wasn't honest. I'm going to work you and everyone else like dogs. If this team comes together, I won't be happy with anything less than first place in VSTL. Well, I appreciate the chance. I offer a smile that she's quick to match. If we're going ahead with this, I've got a lot of stuff to do. The deadline to register for Team League is 2 weeks, so we can't afford to waste time. Get moving on your search. Alright, good luck. I'll catch you online. Yeah, later. When she's gone, I fall back into my chair and take a deep breath. Jet just asked me to join her team. I pinch my forearm and judge the sensation that follows. With that, my disbelief dissolves into contemplation. How the hell am I going to find 2 worthwhile unsigned players?